everyone, I'm Virginia, one of VALVEcampus organizer. Today talk about the Access Remote Inspection tool. The last minute of presentation will be the question and answer part. Please write your question in the chat box. It's now my pleasure to present Emanuele Carminati, Chief Operating Officer, and Davide Brambilla, Global Technical Director. Thank you so much. Emanuele.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this presentation. First of all, I would like to thank Virginia and the VALVEcampus Association, as well as all the attendees for taking the time to join us today. Today's presentation is dedicated to the remote inspection and expediting system, and it includes a case study for valves manufacturing. My name is Emanuele Carminati, Chief Operating Officer of ACES Global Quality Services, and I'm going to cover the introductory part of this presentation. My colleague, Davide Brambilla, Global Technical Director of ACES Global Quality Services, will take care of the main part. VALVEcampus is the association that brings together the whole valve industry, supply chain, including valves, actuators, gasket, seals, and components manufacturers, as well as testing, inspection, and certification body. If you are looking to get informed, trained, or build networks, participate events, or develop your business, or just be part of a vibrant community of valve professionals, do not miss the opportunity and join the VALVEcampus Association today. Before we start with the presentation, I would like to take this occasion to give all attendees a short presentation of our company. We can move to the next slide. Thank you. Established 32 years ago, ACES Global Quality Services is a multinational private service provider with 24 international offices in 5 continents. We can rely on more than 6,000 professionals through whom we provide our services in more than 70 countries across the globe. The ACES group of companies work for hundreds of prominent EPC contractors and operators across the oil and gas, petrochemical, power generation, and renewable industries, just to name a few. Can you please move to the next slide? Thank you. We provide inspection, expediting, project management, QA, QC, and training services. And to complement our global offering, we have inaugurated 3 new divisions over the last 4 years. S.p.A, which is our drone services company. S.p.A Lab, which is the company within our group that helps us develop new technologies to improve our range of services. And our latest addition, GESCOM, which is our specialty workforce solution company. If you want to know more about our group, please visit our website or drop us an email. You can find our contact details at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. So why remote inspection? New ideas and solutions often come from the desire to make something in a different or innovative way, or when we recognize a problem and we realize that with some goodwill, we can be the one to solve it. This is pretty much what happened when back in September 2018, we were discussing on how we could push the limits of traditional inspection services to a new level of innovation using the latest technologies. After several brainstorming sessions, we ended up deciding to design a system which would have been capable to connect all the parties involved in a typical inspection visit in a sort of collaborative and interactive digital environment, so as to offer our clients and other third parties the possibility to virtually participate in an inspection being performed by one of our many inspectors and specialists. While we were designing our system and collaborating with our partners and solution providers, we realized that we could have used it for a wider range of services like expediting, auditing, and much more. In other words, the system we were building could have been used as a platform for a new range of services or for adding value to the existing ones. As we all know, idea takes time to brew, and that's how our idea took a whole year to take form. Until September 2019, we had successfully conducted a series of pilot implementations and beta testing to give solid foundations to our vision. Finally, at the end of 2019, the system was ready. This is in brief how our remote inspection system came to existence. Even if the deployment of remote inspection application has been a topic of discussion for the last few years, it received more attention during the unfortunate events of the recent COVID-19 epidemic, since it was deployed in those circumstances where a physical inspection visit could not be performed. In addition, the maturity of technology and broadband connectivity have boosted its implementation to the extent that it might not represent just the trend of the hour, but perhaps an evolution of the inspection activities in this era of digital transformation, as well as a very cost-effective tool. Since then, the request for remote inspection has escalated, and our system has been utilized several times and helped clients, manufacturers, inspectors in conducting inspection activities, ensuring the progress of the projects, overcoming stringent restriction while keeping everyone safe. We can now move to the next slide, please. What is a remote inspection and when it is recommended? A remote inspection is a form of visual inspection which uses visual aids and internet connectivity to allow several participants to take part in an inspection process simultaneously, remotely, and through live streaming. Remote inspection allows full interaction between all inspectors participants in real time. As for a conventional in-person inspection visit, a remote inspection system is deployed when it comes to witness, supervise, survey, monitor an inspection process or to evaluate the characteristic of a given product and its compliance with the specified requirements. The same remote system can also be deployed to conduct live remote assessment and audits, as well as to perform live remote expediting activities. So what devices do we need to get started? If you are taking part to the remote inspection from a vendor shop, all you need is a smartphone or a tablet or smart glasses duly connected through the vendor's Wi-Fi connection or through mobile connection to our portal. If you're taking part in the remote inspection from a remote location, you can utilize any device connected to the internet to our portal. As for the internet connection, a broadband Wi-Fi connection or at least a 3G mobile connection is required to get connected to the remote inspection session. However, in our remote inspection system, the audio and video streams have been engineered to optimize the bandwidth consumption, and the system will automatically adjust your bandwidth utilization based on your internet connection strength while granting optical audio and video performances. Who are the participants to a remote inspection? Well, the participants are those who are normally involved in a conventional physical inspection and more precisely, vendors, sub-vendors, customers, end users, inspectors, and other third parties. And what are the main features of the remote inspection? Well, all participants are connected to our portal and live streaming. Everybody sees what is live streamed, enabling full interaction and communication between participants in real time. All participants can remotely control the device being used to live stream the inspection. They can zoom in, take picture, draw, write comments over the picture and send it back to the other participant devices in real time. They can also record the video and the audio footages. Inspection results and data are immediately available to all attendees. All participants can share any sort of documents, drawing data with other participants on their devices. And if the remote inspection is being recorded, the audio and video footages, as well as pictures taken during the inspection, can be stored in our web cloud for further consultation and download should this be required. Last but not least, when is remote inspection recommended? Let me say that the remote inspection system is not intended or designed to replace the conventional physical inspection, but it is very recommended whenever any restriction, such as travel bans, limitation in access to the vendor premises, or health and safety concerns are brought into force, or as a complement to a conventional in-person inspection program. Well, I think I covered pretty much all my points, and I would like to thank all the attendees for the attention so far. And I take the chance to present everyone our Global Technical Director, Mr. Davide Brambilla, who is going to take care of the remaining part of this presentation. Davide, I leave the continuation on to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Carminati, for the introduction. My warmest welcome to you as well. My name is Davide Brambilla, Technical Director at ACES. Scope of our discussion today is to introduce a case study that involves valve manufacturing combined with remote inspection tools. But before entering the matter, we will step back and speak about what gave us the option to start thinking to do that. We will show you the tool which made it possible. We will talk about a remote inspection tool. The remote tool we call ACES Remote Inspection. And before showing you a short video, let's take note about the 3 simple steps that became our motto at ACES when we talk about remote inspection. Push, connect, inspect. Enjoy the video.
In a world becoming more and more connected every day, to maintain our competitive edges, we are constantly focused on innovation to optimize the level of the services provided. Imagine sitting comfortably at your desk whilst you watch in streaming, your equipment being inspected by one of our professional inspectors in any part of the world. Imagine interacting in real time with the inspector while he is carrying out the inspection. All this is live remote inspection. Live remote inspection system is based on the use of a dedicated software and web portal. The software enables the connection of ACES GQS inspector's device. Multiple users can be simultaneously connected using different devices, allowing participation without any geographical boundaries. So what do you need to join a live remote inspection? Just your smartphone, a tablet, laptop or desktop computer, connected via a secure link to the dedicated ACES Global web portal. You will be connected with our qualified inspector at the vendor, and through his device you will be able to actively assist any moment of the inspection. Being safety our #1 priority, the setup for live remote inspection is intended to keep our inspectors' hands free. We have developed a support for inspectors' safety helmet where the device is mounted. Live remote inspection is also fully compatible with our smart glasses technology. All participants can witness or supervise the live remote inspection, interact on any aspects, express opinions, and intervene as necessary. Participants can even remotely control our inspector's device. They can easily take images or even zoom in while the inspection is carried out. ACES Global Live Remote Inspection allows you to store the complete video recording of the inspection, as well as all the screen capture images on a secure cloud system. All data is always available and retrievable after the inspection is completed. What are the advantages of live remote inspection? It allows participants to remotely inspect and contribute from any part of the world. Multiple parties can intervene during the inspection from multiple locations. It is time-saving. Results can be shared immediately and any action can be taken based on the result itself. It's cost-saving. Engineers, experts, clients' representatives can actively participate to live remote inspection without having to move from their offices. It's safe and environmentally friendly, saving the need to travel. Effective direct and live technical support can make the difference. Possibility to respond to NCRs during the inspection. Immediate problem solving. Immediate reporting can be issued at the end of the inspection, supported by video recording. ACE's Global Live Remote Inspection. The future is today. Join us.
I hope you enjoyed the video. It is amazing how it can be easy to become familiar with remote inspection tools and with ARI, of course. What is the first step for us? It is connection, as we said before. How can we be all connected with you and an inspector on field? It is all in a link. We at ACES can share with the attendees invitation to the incoming remote inspection event. We have plenty of choices to connect participants. Through our portal and invitation window, we can select to invite you by email, like you are seeing in this slide, or maybe invite you through a simple SMS, or even through some social media like WhatsApp or WeChat if we are in China. It depends. And then we can pass to step number 2. Once you click the link, you establish a connection to the ACES portal. ARI can create a digital room where people meet each other to share an experience, an inspection, or even an expediting, performed with participants connected from everywhere in the world. ARI makes you connected with no need of any software to be downloaded or installed. What you need is just your device connected to the internet and its embedded browser. No need to ask your company IT for permission to install any software. We can run ARI simply from your browser or even from a dedicated app. But the system is anyway designed to be as light as we can, and the idea came to use the browser itself. Connection is then established between the attendees. Any device can be utilized. iOS-based, Android-based, Windows-based can be utilized as well. It is up to you to utilize your smartphone. Do you prefer a tablet? It works for us. It can be your company laptop. No worries. It's fine to work with ARI as well. You will see a code. This is the unique number of the inspection or expediting in remote you will attend. It is a secured connection where only who is invited can attend through our link. And then connection to ARI Hub is established. ARI system monitors quality of network and shows how many participants take part of the event. Dynamic verification of parameters makes system able to adapt to the bandwidth connection quality and availability to preserve the established connection between the attendees. And now we move to the real use of the remote inspection tool for inspection. Here we have two different views. Starting from the left side of the slide, you see a mobile device view. It can be, as an example, the view of the inspector performing in person the inspection with his own mobile. What he sees and broadcasts, it is what we can see if connected with him. On the right side of the slide, a laptop view. Imagine yourself seated at your desk and participating to the experience connected from your office, your home, looking at what the inspector is inspecting. Check the valve within. Intuitive controls are designed to have all attendees capable to take control of the video, transmitting images from their own devices. All attendees can capture photos. Inspector or anyone using a smartphone can flip camera to selfie mode to introduce himself or herself during the inspection. The share screen option allows a technician to share his screen with inspector's smartphone screen. We can guide the inspector, showing specs and drawing details for an immediate check and verification. We can have live markups managed by inspector and people connected to the event. ACES can activate this command or disable it. We can have live pointers allowing participants to dynamically guide the inspector to check some details. Store the sketches along with the item images for a further check while writing down a report after the inspection. In the standard configuration, ARI is designed to have till 4 participants with full audio-video broadcasting recorded. In the Powered Edition configuration, ARI can have till 10 participants connected. Infinite configuration can be discussed. Here, some of the cases and configuration experimented by us during the pandemic events in 2020. Starting from top left side, we imagine 4 typical cases. Inspector at home, manufacturer working with remote staff, client and final user all connected. Going down left, inspector at home, supported by another inspector or technical expert to inspect material at manufacturer site, and final user joining inspection as well. Upside right, Aramco style inspection, contractor inspector called the lump sum Turkey inspector, plus a monitoring inspector connected, plus manufacturer of course, and client that can be Aramco itself. Right side down, desk expediting with inspector at home that can or cannot participate. As an example, a valve manufacturer can expedite the supply chain of its own sub-supplier and suppliers. Full broadcast can easily be recorded and made available at the end of the session. ARI is privacy-proof. Systems ask permissions to the device to share microphone and images. Recording can be activated or deactivated based on the specific company policies where ARI will be utilized. ARI is full compatibility for us. System is dynamically escalating, de-escalating the quality of images based on the quality of the signal given by the cellular connection or by the available Wi-Fi. System can work both with Wi-Fi or a minimum 3G mobile connection. Safety of data is granted by security systems and encrypting storages. Full availability of captured broadcast and images is always granted at the end of the event. And here we imagine some advantages for the actors taking part to a live remote inspection event. Inspector safety always connected and supported by client in this technical department. From the client point of view, ARI can allow instant verification of purchased material, their status, and expedite shipment. From manufacturer side, valve manufacturers can have inspection witnessed even with COVID. Delays are minimized and they can finally think about effective and impact expediting to sub-suppliers. Now we will approach the core of this presentation. We will talk about the case study we at ESES has developed. Based on company experience with traditional and remote expediting and inspection, ESES technical team has developed a case study. Can the remote tools be applied to a valve manufacturing process flow? Can a synergy created using ESES remote inspection and remote tools in general be applied to valve manufacturing when we think it from expediting and inspection side? Let's move on. How to transition to remote inspection and vice versa. Quality process like inspection and expediting can be managed through remote tools. Can remote tools, once deployed, help a manufacturer to control, verify, and even accelerate the manufacturing production steps to serve the client? Let's start our study from here, where we have a mutual correlation between manufacturer, expediter, inspector, client with a common denominator, the valve manufacturing. A typical valve manufacturing process can be divided in several steps. Everything starts from sales. Job is initiated with planning operation. It passes to design stage. It moves then to material supply. It passes through sub-supplier stage to perform intermediate activities. We go then to the incoming process and internal inspection at valve manufacturer site. A further step is the final machining of components, assembly and testing, final inspection after coating and internal lining if required, and then packing and shipment to client. This assumption was made to define the panel of our discussion. A valve production cycle can be analyzed by either an expediter or an inspector, or by both, of course, to identify which are the steps where they can focus. Where expeditors' scope and inspector scope overlap, are there any steps where both the professional figures can combine their expertise? We have asked to ESES expediting team and to inspection team to estimate the importance of each of the steps which create a typical valve manufacturing flow process. Team expediting in green on the table assigned their points, grading each step. Team inspection in yellow gave a score to each of the steps defined. A comparison table was then created. What should an expediter check if we ask him to expedite? What is going on during a valve manufacturing? By weighing the phases, we see the expeditors tend to interact with flow at the beginning and at the end of the flow. Expediting is a concept in purchasing and project management for securing the quality and timely delivery of goods and components. If we look at step 2, planning controls the progress of manufacturing, sets the timeline for everything. If we move to step 10, dispatch defines the end of the process and the final target for the expediter. Summarizing, step 2 becomes a milestone, followed by step 10 as a second and most important phase to be duly verified and reported to the client. Inspector tendency line reflects a more incremental participation into the flow compared to the expediter. The inspector is less interested in the first part of the order definition, while his attention is starting from the incoming check of materials to verify their compliance with specification and approved drawings. Peak participation of inspector is situated basically at testing and final inspection steps. Let's pair expediting and inspection, and let's compare their tendency lines. First of all, we can divide our graph into 3 areas where we can observe how the expeditor and inspector dig into the process flow of valve manufacturing. 2 areas of the flow, respectively number 1 and number 3, define 2 regions of the graph to their respective curves end. Area 1 and 3 sees a tendency line with opposite gradients. Area 1, defined as rollout area of the flow, here is the area where the project starts. Expeditors look for the entire schedule. Inspectors wait for material definition and preparation of valve parts with less participation. Area 3 is defined as the flow conclusion. It is the valve manufacturing conclusion, of course. It is a rush for the delivery and participation of the expediter. Meanwhile, the final inspection closes out the inspector activity a step before. There is still what we call Area 2 now. Let's go and explore such part of the graph, just modifying the point of view of our case study. Area 2 constitutes a peak of combination and presence of the expediter and inspector action. Their presence at valve manufacturer premises, even simultaneously, can be seen as a sum of competencies deployed to enhance a valve manufacturer's quality system. From client's side, this is a supplementary job-applied quality control and quality assurance provided by highly professional figures like expediters and inspectors. From the quality management point of view, the expediter and inspector act as quality control operators because they verify the specific job materials availability and compliance to the client's order. Can we think about them witnessing activities through a remote tool? ACE's remote inspection tool applied to both expediting and inspection had a massive development during pandemic events in 2020. COVID created the occasion for ACES to start applying as a default proposal for clients a remote inspection tool. The concept of the application of remote inspection was born in 2018 as an extension of the traditional way to do in-person expediting and inspection. Remote tools introduced a new way to perform inspection and expediting. What are the main parameters we inserted in the equation? Advantages in connection, fast information exchange, and great flexibility. But we need to think that there is a limit in the equation. Sometimes we may need to have anyway someone deployed on field to have a general pictures of what is happening there. We have the equation, new parameters, one limit. What then we need to define is the range of existence of such equation. We can define 5 pillars driving the approach to the valve manufacturing cycle. They are, in other words, a path to follow. By expeditors and inspectors, representing client in the execution of the assigned quality tasks. By manufacturers, to check if this new smart approach can be applied to the entire cycle to take advantage from a smart and digital approach. by clients willing to be more and more connected every day to their supply chain. Aptitude to utilize remote tools can make the difference. ACE's remote inspection can make the difference. Minimum training is required, but we need to consider human factor. An inspector can be familiar with tools, but local manpower, if required to participate to remote inspection events, needs to be trained, particularly when it comes to the use of company mobiles or smart glasses. Based on such assumption, a manufacturing valve flow process can be designed to have inspection and expediting steps manageable through remote inspection. A good procedure can help you so much. As an example, the inspector can witness a visual check of a valve casting from remote. Inspector and client can trust the system if we will be able to discriminate a defect from a simple indication. A consistent process allows room for remote tools. And is the tool suitable for the selected process? This is a question that every valve manufacturer should be able to answer. Moving on, the deployment of a tools needs to be evaluated. The easier will be the tool, the best effective it will be. ACES has designated ARI to support a deployment that can be managed from every kind of mobile system connected to the internet. Just think about your specific case. Just think about possible application on a valve manufacturer premise and expand your view till the repair of a valve in field, in a refinery during a stop, and we may need an ATEX-proof device like a smart glass. So a lot of parameters and factors that we should take into consideration. The examples are there for all to see. Added value can come from small tools like a Swiss Army pocket knife. The perspective that a remote inspection expediting can give you, it is an extraordinary asset to boost your production flow. A safe environment can make the difference. No contagion, no risk for assets and human beings. What do we need for a perfect management of a remote tool? A good connection to the internet. A little trick that can secure a good manufacturing flow is a preliminary check of any constraint coming from connection, safety, and any restriction that could make our expediter and inspector opt for an in-person visit to manufacturer premise instead of a remote inspection. In other words, we apply to the equation the range described, and we are going now to overlap the flow with the 5 pillars defined as 1. Disposition, personal behavior. 2. Process and procedures, of course, to follow in person and in remote expediting and inspection. 3. Displacement, or even technology deployed in steps. 4. Value added by remote inspection. And finally, 5. Manufacturer premises environment and related boundary conditions. A safe environment can make the difference. No contagion, no risk for assets and human beings. What do we need for a perfect management of a remote tool? A good connection to the internet. A little trick that can secure a good manufacturing flow is a preliminary check of any constraint coming from connection, safety, and any restriction that could make our expediter and inspector opt for an in-person visit to manufacturer premise instead of a remote inspection. In other words, we apply to the equation the range described, and we are going now to overlap the flow with the 5 pillars defined as 1. Disposition, personal behavior. 2. Process and procedures, of course, to follow in person and in remote. 3. Displacement or even technology deployed in steps. 4. Value added by remote inspection. And 5. Finally, manufacturer premises environment and related boundary condition. Which are now the takeaways we can collect if we screen each flow step in the area 2 we defined? Is there any hashtag we can capture to aggregate the highlights of the case study? Of course, the reply is yes. And let's go and see which are the facts we can capture. In a manufacturing cycle, sub-suppliers in general can be vital for an on-time delivery of an item manufactured according to a client order. To mitigate pandemic effects and speed up delivery and inspection, sub-suppliers need to be conscious that remote tools can be applicable as well as in-person visits, not only by client inspector, but also by valve manufacturers themselves. Quality control personnel shall be trained to cover both the in-person and remote inspection tasks, mixing them according to a smart integration and dynamic inspection and test plans. Value added is an immediate feedback in case of quick information needed and a cost reduction as well as an asset protection. The takeaway and hashtag is ready. Incoming material inspection is more than the start of a valve assembly. Visual check to verify raw material soundness can be requested by client. Huge lots of raw material can see a mix between in-person and remote inspection to guarantee a correct lot verification. Immediate connection can give you the pulse of the forthcoming production. Fast connectivity gives you an immediate picture of what we are going to face in the next flow step. The takeaway hashtag here is smart visual. A sound component contributes to a perfect valve assembly. Predicting production and intercepting defects at an early stage creates an added value. Why do not increment remote verification as an aid to the in-person visits to reiterate a continuous improving? Can we create the base of an anticipating manufacturing? The hashtag here is predictive manufacturing. Assembly is crucial for a satisfactory result in a severe valve testing campaign, from hydro test to gas tests, from actuators operations to smooth operating in challenging conditions. Why do not record testing with the scope of managing a statistical approach to failure analysis, risk analysis, etc.? Allow experts to participate to tests with the aim to speed up delivery and add value, not stopping the business. Protect your assets, people, client representatives, and take care of them, always, anytime, in the place where they would like to be, their home, exactly like in your factory. The takeaway hashtag here is protected attendance. Final inspection is the last stage before a valve typically leaves the factory. Valve will enter into operation. Should we need to check any of the stages of the final inspection performed a long time before? ACES remote inspection with full recorded broadcast can constitute a reliable proof of final test correctly performed. The takeaway hashtag here is consistent proof. And then, from the analysis of a typical valve manufacturing process flow, we see that the contribution of a remote expediting and inspection, even targeted to a specific sequence of steps in a valve manufacturing flow, can be a strategic factor. ACE's remote inspection can help to deploy new technology, make such process smart-oriented, create a predictive scheme to define the correct manufacturing, testing, and delivery time, can protect the attendance, leave consistent proof through a full audio-video broadcasting immediately shareable with all the attendees, as well as pictures taken during the remote inspection and expediting. ACES can help manufacturers delivering inspection and expediting services or renting licenses for the use of the ACES remote inspection tool. ACES is authorized dealer for real-wear smart glasses. Need to power up your remote inspection system with totally hands-free tools? Ask us. We will be proud to offer you our own solutions. Just a last video related to your safety before question time. So it is now the question time, and we have already received some questions that we will try to reply right now. So Emanuele, the stage is yours. I will read the first question for you, and I will give you time for your reply.
Absolutely.
Is ARI available to be managed by valve manufacturers? Is ACES renting some licenses for valve manufacturers to make them instating remote inspection events?
Yes, Davide, it is possible. Let me say that the ARI system is broken down into subscription plans and into bundles, okay? So this helps our clients to identify the appropriate level of capabilities, cost for their needs. The subscription that the client chooses determines the period of the ARI system usage. And as a client, they only get the best of the system. And they can also decide whether they can choose the standard or the powered version, okay? The system always includes the latest features, so they always get the best of it, regardless of what subscription plan they choose.
Emanuele, another question for you. Can smart glasses be utilized with ARI? Which types would you suggest us?
Well, Davide, the ARI can work with smart glasses. Actually, it can work with a wide range of smart glasses. We have tested many over the last year. But that being said, we have chosen the RealWear smart glasses family, for which we are also resellers in Italy. Davide, I have a question for you. How many attendees can participate to broadcasting at the same time?
Okay, our system has two separate configurations. The first one is called standard configuration, and we can allow till 4 participants at the same time with a full recorded broadcasting. We have another configuration that is called Powered Edition, and in this case, we can arrive to have a full broadcasting with till 10 participants connected at the same time. So it depends on the request of the clients to deploy one system instead of the other. Basta così, queste domande sono finite.
Posso ripetere la risposta alla prima domanda perché credo di aver detto un'imprecisione.
Sì, vuoi che te la ripongo la domanda, Veniero?
Riponimela che così la facciamo tutta attaccata, dai.
Ok, Veniero, allora ripetiamo la prima domanda, dovrei tagliare il primo pezzo e rimettere la nostra.
Non vi preoccupate.
Ok, prima parto,
Sì.
So Emanuele, I have a question for you. The first one is ARIA available to be managed by valve manufacturers? Is ACES renting some licenses for valve manufacturers to make them instating remote inspection events by themselves?
Yes, Davide, it is possible. Let me say that ARI system is broken down into subscription plans bundled into packages. So this helps our clients to identify the appropriate level of capabilities and cost for their needs. The subscription the client chooses determines the period for the ARI system usage. As a client, you can also choose to subscribe to standard or powered edition. And all of our subscription plans include all the ARI latest system features, so the customer always gets the best of it, regardless of what subscription plan is chosen. I think, Davide, that we reached the end of this presentation. We come to the end. I would like again to thank everyone for attending the presentation today. And I would just leave in this last slide all of our contacts, our website, and the email of Davide and I. So thanks very much again, and see you next time.
Thank you, the speakers today, for their good presentation. I wish you all a very nice day. Bye-bye.
So thanks very much again, everybody, and I would like also to thank VALVEcampus for inviting us today. Really appreciated.
Thank you also from my side. It was great to have the opportunity to explore together with you this case study and to show you how ACES can help you with our ACES remote inspection tool. Thank you, everybody.